Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If you're excited, I'm excited. Okay, I'm going in to see it for the first time. I like that it has a sink here. It would have to be updated, but I like that there's a sink. Good linen closet.
Wouldn't be bad for all of them houses replaced. They're all old. Somebody, I guess, when they put this in.
So this is the master. This is the bathroom. Very dated, obviously. That's why we're renovating. But good bones. And we would just do, I think we're just planning on doing all new flooring. Closet. Decent sized closet. And then we have the built-ins. Hold on, I got my camera. So there's some built-ins in the house, which I think are actually really cool. Very similar, no built-ins or anything. And this is the other bathroom. Same shower as the other one. It just hasn't been lived in since 2016 is the last time that the house was lived in. So it's obviously been sitting, collecting dust, so to speak. So that's, a lot of these updates are just cosmetic. Like it looks like a house that was built in the 80s and lived in by grandparents. The grandparents went to assisted living and nobody's lived in it since. So one of the things that we're finding out right now is that this is one of the places where the propane comes in to the house, or where it used to come into the house. It doesn't come in there anymore, but there's two of these and they need to be capped by a plumber before we can even test the propane, because you can't test the propane because those are in here and they're no longer legal. So the propane company won't even touch it to see if the furnace or the water heater works until we deal with that. So we're trying to figure out if we want to have a plumber come out and cap them so that we can test the furnace and the water heater, or if we just want to take a gamble on that. I don't know what we're gonna do. I really like the built-ins. You could just yeah, you could just update them a little bit, and they're pretty cool. Well, because it's got the contact paper in it.
I love contact paper.
Do you love contact paper, Kenneth?
I love wallpaper too.
Yeah.
No.
Fridge will go there. Might get rid of this. Might get rid of that to put a bigger fridge. This will be one of the first things that Kenneth has to deal with, that we have to deal with, is taking the plaster off of the ceiling, because whoever did the plaster, it must not have been done very well, because you can see it mostly in the living room, but it just needs to come down and be redone. And that'll probably be one of the first things that happens, just because you would want to do that without furniture in the house.
So the termite inspector is coming this weekend, and I kept telling him, you have 14 days, there's no rush. He's like, no, I'm coming this weekend. So he's coming this weekend.
Okay, well, that's fine. I think, because you saw termites in the, I think it's right here.
Is it not in the garage?
I don't know what this little thing
I don't know
is.
what that is
I
either.
don't know if it's
That's an attic fan. Have you
Oh,
seen this
gotcha.
before?
No. Gotcha. I thought it was attic access.
Here where the attic fans put in. So I'm guessing, and I don't know this for sure. See that thing right there?
Okay, we're making progress. Did you not know where to put your hands?
I don't know where to put my hands.
Yeah, okay, just put them in your lap. Okay, so we're making progress. Today we signed the documents for going into, not closing, but like we signed the final offers, disclosures, all the stuff. And then tomorrow I'm gonna drop off the earnest money at the title company, and we signed everything with the lender. So we locked in a rate and found out like what our mortgage payment's gonna be. So we locked in a 6.9 rate, which is pretty good considering the current state of things, which I guess it pays to have good credit. And then now we're in the 14-day option period where we're doing all of the inspections and stuff. And with it being an older house, we have to do all of the inspections, like all of them matter. So we did termites, and there are no termites in the house, no previous termites, no current termites. There were some termites in one of the outbuildings, but Kenneth had already seen that. So we knew that, and we'll just treat it in the future. And so termites came back as we expected. Do you want to explain the propane thing? Because there's an issue with the propane, and I think you guys kind of saw that when we were doing when I saw it for the first time. The propane guys were there to do a test on the propane, and that didn't happen. So you explain that, because, yeah.
So they had 2 really old style valves, and they just needed to be replaced. One of the lines got capped, and the other one had a new valve installed. That way, if we ever need to run a heater or anything in the wintertime, if power goes out, we still have that option.
But what were why were they illegal? Like, what were they called?
I think it's just called like a Texas valve. They're basically just like a grease valve, and apparently that grease can dry out and the propane can leak, and they've had a lot of houses explode, so that's why they quit using that style valve.
And they got banned in like the 90s, but the house was built in the 80s, so they were still legal when they built the house and they put them in. And the other thing, I don't even know if I told you this, when the plumber came, so the plumber came today, we're very thankful the buyers acknowledged that that was a problem that needed to be dealt with, because you can't do a propane inspection without fixing that, because the propane guys were like,
they wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah, they're like, we can't touch that. Like, until you fix it, we can't do anything, because those are illegal, which we told the buyers that, or the real estate agent told the buyers that, and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll fix that. So the plumber came out today. The pipes, the propane lines, they're actually in the slab. So like they were like kind of nervous, because they're like, if these are rusted or something, like they're in the slab under the house. But luckily they weren't rusted. They got them capped. They got them, the legal valve put on that. And then tomorrow the home inspector is coming, and then the propane guys are going to come back, and they're going to put a temporary tank on the house, and they're going to test the lines while the home inspector is there. And then we also have to have the septic tested, because the septic, as I'm saying this out loud, it's dawning on me. The septic, they put in a brand new septic system. So there was an elderly couple that lived there, and they'd lived there since it was built. They had it built. They had a brand new septic system put in when?
Like October
of 2016. They put a brand new septic system in. Both of them went into assisted living in December of 2016. So there's a brand new septic system, but it never got used. So obviously it's dried out, but like also it's just been...
It's a brand new 9-year-old tank.
It's a brand new 9-year-old septic system, but it's just been sitting there. So I called a septic service in the town, and luckily they were willing to come out and look at it. They said as long as there was water, they'd run water into it and check it and make sure that it was like sound. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. So we're moving forward with the 14-day period. We're doing the inspections. We're finding out all of the things. I don't think the inspections change our view of the house. Like we were talking about that yesterday. Like it doesn't change.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Like because the house is empty, you can see all the walls. There's no pictures, no furniture, so there's really nothing to hide.
And it doesn't smell like mold, and they'll test for mold when they do the home inspection.
Yeah, it just smells like it's been closed up
and empty
for a while, and it has. It's been pretty much sealed up for years.
Yeah.
The termite inspection was the biggest one we were worried about, or at least had questions on. Everything else seemed fine.
Yeah, I just, like, it doesn't change. Like, I think the real estate agent was, well, I don't know if she was nervous, but it was kind of like, you're doing all of these inspections, you're gonna find things that are wrong with it because it's old and it's empty and like nothing's up to code. Like you're gonna find issues. Like it's not necessarily gonna pass an inspection with flying colors. Like I think it'll pass, but like it's not gonna pass with flying colors. But we told her it doesn't change. It doesn't, we know that. We just wanna know what it is before.
Yeah, it's not so much that any problems bother us. We just want to know what the problems are. So
Right. And there's some things that like you can't see, then you would hope an inspector would be able to see. So anyway, the inspector's coming tomorrow. I'm dropping off the earnest money. We locked in the rate with the lender. It's literally going to take every single dime of savings that we have to bring it to closing, but it's there. And this is the trust God part. This is the trust God part. So that's where we're at.
all right, everyone, we are back here at the house again. We've got the house inspector here doing his thing, currently waiting on the propane guys to show up. Supposed to have been here 17 minutes ago, but until then, we'll take a look around. Well, not everyone would be as excited about this as I am, but this little shed is right off the back porch. And hopefully, with a lot of work, I can turn this into the new leather shop. It's got some old paneling in it. It's got to be taken down. The building does have a little bit of termite damage, so that'll be the big kicker, bracing up studs. It's got the pressure tank here. I have to be moved outside because, heaven forbid, have a water leak in here with all my leather work. It'd be pretty bad, spraying everywhere. There's an old window behind this. Get that opened up, get some light in here. Get all this old stuff taken out. Get everything sealed up, and it should look pretty darn cool when we're done. Still waiting. But while we wait, we're gonna go measure some square footage in the laundry room here. That way, we can figure out how much linoleum we have to put down on the floor.
Yeah, see, this is coming down to this. I have no idea what it's for. You wanna look inside this?
Propane guy did his pressure test. Was not able to hold pressure in the house, so it tells us we have a leak somewhere. This connection, flared connection onto the furnace, was leaking here. Tried to tighten it up, couldn't get that to work. Turned the valve off down here, right there. Still wasn't able to get it to work and hold line. But we noticed right here on the unit, it says converted to LP gas in September 14th, 82. This thing is old. AC unit doesn't work since we've been here, and it's been running. Went up 4 degrees. So today we found out from the propane guys, there's a leak. Can't figure out where it was. We sprayed the valve, see if everything was leaking. It's probably in a line somewhere. Have to call the plumber back out to test the yard line and test the house line to figure out which direction we need to go. Because we couldn't get the propane to work, we couldn't see if the hot water heater works. It does have a leak, so that'll have to be addressed as well. Couldn't test the furnace because couldn't get it to hold pressure in the lines. And there's a plate on the furnace that said it was, I think, refurbished in 1982. The AC unit doesn't work. It is the original unit as well from 82. The house actually got warmer as we were hanging out this morning and running around looking and testing everything. All that'll have to be addressed, and we'll see what the next step brings.
We're moving forward, regardless of the concerning inspection. We did write a letter to the sellers, and we essentially expressed to them, like, hey, this isn't good. Still not the worst. We still want it. We're still willing to take on the project, but like these are some of the major concerns, which were the propane and the electric, and what was the other one? The propane, the electric.
And well, because we couldn't turn the propane on, we couldn't see if the furnace worked.
And the AC. And then also we still haven't got the water test back, and that just reminded me I need to send that email. But we essentially were still in the 14-day option period. I dropped off the earnest money to the title company. So we started the 14-day period for the option. So essentially we were kind of in this weird limbo where it was like, oh shoot, like, do we back out of this? Because there's another house that we were kind of interested in, but it had some concerns with the foundation. And so we were kind of in that limbo where it was like, we don't want to pay that much money for it. But I'd already dropped off the earnest money, so we were already in the option period. And so we kind of just waited to see how they responded to our letter. And they did respond, like, not as benevolently as I would have hoped, but they did drop the price a little bit.
And the propane got fixed.
And the propane got fixed. They did fix the propane, so that was a big thing. They went out there and they got all the propane fixed, and they had a plumber check everything. There's no leaks. Great. And they left the lines dug up, so then that way Kenneth knows where all the lines are, and they did come down off the price just a little bit. So good news, we're moving forward. So the price changed a little bit. We're moving forward. As far as the loan documents go, we're like totally in the clear on that. And the title company is doing all the stuff. We still have to wait for the survey, but the survey is back on. Nothing's going to happen in a timely manner. I've just come to that conclusion that, like, it's just going to take like 3 times longer than we thought it would, and that's just part of it. What I didn't even ask you, what was it that you were working on in there? You were doing something.
Just taking all my numbers from the measuring the square footage and actually figuring out what it is. So I just wrote down like the length and width of the rooms. I hadn't actually
like for the flooring
done the
stuff?
numbers. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But anyway, now we just wait for the survey. We wait for all the loan paperwork to be done. I got the insurance estimates. I got all of that. And so everything moves forward at a snail's pace. But we're committed. We're in it. The 14-day option is done. We're buying the house. Exciting day. We are closer and closer. We are 2 days away from closing. So we are headed to the house to do our final walkthrough, make sure everything is hunky-dory, good to go. And then 2 days from now, we are going to give them every last dime we have and take the keys and run.
When are we gonna move in?
Well, we got to do all the remodel stuff first
3
before we
years,
can move. It's not going to be 3 years. I don't know, baby. The goal is that we could have Thanksgiving there and be moved in time to have a nice Thanksgiving there. That's the goal.
At least
It might go faster than
at least
that.
by your mom's birthday.
But that's in March. It's August.
You gotta give yourself a little buffer.
I thought Thanksgiving was a nice buffer. You can't wait to paint on it? Really just a formality today. Like I said, we're going to close in 2 days. We're doing the final walkthrough. It is what it is. That's the things that need work. We know they
That
need
probably
work.
runs
They
to
were
one of
able
those
to get
sheds.
the propane working, so that was a huge thing. They dropped the price just a little bit for us because they knew there was going to be some work required for several other things. We're probably going to have to deal with the AC very quickly.
Because it goes.
We know that, and we have that in our minds. And so today, we're just here to see it one more time before we get to call it home.
It's not a storage area. It's going to be kids' play fort.
A play fort for the kids?
Play fort. They don't have a tree house. They can have like a shed house.
Oh, okay. I like that idea. That's awesome.
We got to get some cheap couches.
Okay, cool. It'll be their clubhouse. So
Yes,
it's a clubhouse.
It's a clubhouse.
Okay, cool. I like it. We did it. We just got back from the title company. We have the keys in hand. It's a done deal. The house is ours. So we're excited to get started on this project.
Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned for all the remodeling that's going to be coming up.